Welcome back to Florida Man Does Weather. We've got some interesting stuff to forecast. Right now, we've got the satellite kind of on the Western Caribbean, just showing the CAG is sparking up, but it's on
Yep.
the Eastern Pacific side. We've got a developing storm just south of the west coast of Mexico. As you can see, you got that big, broad cyclonic motion starting over the Yucatan Peninsula into the Bay of Campeche and then all the way through the other side. That other side is likely to become another tropical entity over there. What's on the North American U.S. facing side is not. It is going to get absorbed into the East Pacific side. But the thing I do want to point out is that big area of clouds and some slight spin down in the Bahamas and near Florida, north of Cuba. That's going to turn into something interesting. Let's bring that euro up. So we are going to be dealing with a big coastal low, and it's going to suck because everyone from Florida to the Carolina Outer Banks has already been feeling a ton of erosion with this long-term easterly fetch, a lot of rough seas, higher winds, and it's contributed to a lot of erosion problems. But this coastal low is expected to amplify on the the east side of a big 500 millibar trough, and it amplifies pretty quick. We could see gusts of 40 to 60 miles per hour very easily on the Outer Banks, especially Saturday night. And this could extend all the way up into New Jersey, Long Island, the coast across this entire mid-Atlantic region is really going to feel this weekend. And this is really an early season nor'easter. It's going
hmm
over very warm waters, but it is still a cold core system. So even if it feels tropical, it's attached to fronts. It's attached to a mid-level, upper-level trough. So this is not a tropical entity, but it's a little bit of a hybrid, kind of similar to what happened a couple weeks ago when they had that little hybrid system up there. But this is just going to act to really amplify everything. You're going to get some good rainfall out of this. So maybe some flash flooding concerns on top of erosion and whatever storm surge arises from this, because there will be a little bit of a storm surge just because of the magnitude of wind that's coming through and it's going to be pushing that water inland. So if you're on the Outer Banks, just prepare. It's going to continue to eat away at your coastline. And Josh, what's the rate of coastal loss over a month?
I had seen something that was, I mean, to my understanding, it's like to the point of it's dozens of feet. Now I don't want to like spout numbers off the top of my head that are too big, but I thought I had read somewhere where it said 30 feet of coastline has been eaten away. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I had read when I was looking up on the coastal erosion that it was somewhere to the tune of 30 feet.
Hmm.
Um, Take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
That's just off the top of my head. But either way, the erosion has been extreme. Like Caleb was saying, multiple homes were to the tune of about a home a week is falling into the ocean now, literally. It's a terrible situation there. But like Caleb was saying, just want to add to what Caleb was saying. You look here on the Euro, granted, this is just a model run, but look at that pressure gradient on the western side of that storm with that land interaction. That pressure gradient is very tight. That's going to be very strong winds ripping in from the northeast, and that's not going to be helping your Outer Banks situation at all. Like Caleb was saying, expect a significantly larger amount of coastal erosion, and unfortunately, there will be likely several more homes to be lost as a result of that. Pushing forward a little bit, you notice that the Euro continues to bring that storm offshore of New England, like Caleb was saying, that classic nor'easter, just bringing in those heavy rain bands in uh, off of the Atlantic with that really tight pressure gradient. But then, and the Euro is not the only one that suggests this, it loops back in on itself as you get extended out and just kind of lingers for a while. now you're starting to get to the point of we're looking at hour 192, so you're kind of leaning in more on climatological stuff, and then it kind of meanders off. But both major models are suggesting a stall in the northeast, uh, near kind of near Chesapeake Bay. So it's worth watching. Both models are suggesting this as a very strong storm. Like Caleb was saying, it's a hybrid core storm. It has warm influence. It will have some warm core characteristics, but ultimately it's going to be a cold core storm as it is attached to that trough. So um, think of this kind of as a nor'easter without the snow, like Caleb was saying. The weather will get pretty rough, lots of rain, lots of flooding, uh, pretty high winds for a pretty decent amount of time. This is a several day event,
Mhm.
but it won't be a true tropical event.
Yeah, that's the silver lining here. A lot of your rain is going to be on the lighter side of things compared to a tropical system, but on that northwest side of the low, the northwest and west side, that's your deformation zone. That's going to be some of the heaviest precip
Yes.
falls, which unfortunately looks to be on the Outer Banks. So that's going to exacerbate your water issues there.
Yeah.
Let's take it out to the Broadview satellite. We do have Tropical Storm Jerry, and there's your steering flow right now.
Yeah.
But get
There we go.
that going. There we go. So we got Tropical Storm Jerry down there. Got a real good fan pattern outflow. Pretty symmetrical storm as well. Clipping along at 23 miles per hour due west right now. So if that motion continues, expect some model deviation. Right now it is projected to curve north and west away from the Leeward Islands, but with continued westward motion, that puts your curve closer into the Leeward Islands, closer towards the U.S. Virgin Islands, closer to those islands in general, maybe even Puerto Rico getting some outer bands from this system. But that'll be a wait and see. Right now, it is slowing down just a little bit. It was moving at 24 miles per hour due west earlier. So the slower it gets, the more likely that it is indeed feeling that weakness in the ridge, and the ridge right now doesn't appear to be too strong as well. So it should maintain that course and maintain a curve before it becomes too big of a problem. And other than that, not really much going on out there in our side of the tropics, but that could very easily change. Updated Climate Prediction Center tropical hazards outlook has come out, and they are explicitly calling for a Central American gyre event to take place sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. We might see a sneaky end of month tropical cyclone here on our side of the basin, and generally, climatologically speaking, these are usually either Florida problems or Caribbean problems. They will either form up and then move northeast from the Caribbean, or they form up, move more north, and then northeast as they enter the Gulf. So that's going to be something to keep watch on. Nothing's really happened so far this year in that area because we've had this persistent East Coast troughing, and the synoptic steering patterns have been honestly a little bit weird. This East Coast troughing has really caused our rainy season on the West Coast to be kind of lackluster compared to last year. We had a lot of rain outside of tropical systems last year. This year, it's been mainly the East Coast and kind of that east central portion of Florida feeling most of the love from the rainy season, as you can tell by our lack of weather and storm videos as of late.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We've been getting a lot of low top showers, especially recently. They've been gusty at times, but nothing too good to make a long video out of. We like to bring you guys like impressive storms or close to it, but as of late, just hasn't been much. Your thoughts?
I agree with you, Caleb. As we were discussing earlier, this was not necessarily the easiest year to be graduating the School of Meteorology because the pattern on the east side has just been so complicated and so unpredictable, and the models have performed so poorly over the last few months. But the Tropics Hazard Outlook is really leaning in hard on the CAG. All of the models are suggesting the CAG as well for what it's worth. And yeah, we'll just be waiting to see what happens. If we get a storm in that area, it's going to be a big one because everything is untapped out there. Basically, anything that forms off of Honduras, Nicaragua is going to be off to the races because it's a bathtub out there. And the gyre is already waking up, as you can see, as you saw on the map, and as you can see in the Tropics Hazard Outlook. The center of the gyre is offshore of Central America on the western side, and that's why it's spitting so many systems out right now. But eventually, that's going to tilt towards the end of October. That's supposed to shift towards the eastern side, which will be your Western Caribbean, and then that's when the party's going to start for us. So stay tuned. We'll be keeping you guys posted. Thanks as always for watching and subscribing. Every little bit helps. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week and look forward to sharing a video with you guys again soon.